Hello everybody, this is Poonam Sagar, founder of Indoindians.com, and today I have with me Amrit Lakhiani. Hi Amrit.
Hi.
So Amrit Lakhiani is a serial entrepreneur and he has done many different businesses and he's still involved in quite a few. And his latest venture is hydroponic farming. So Amrit, I was really surprised to learn of this new venture of yours because you've been into finance, investments, property, and a lot more. So, how did you get into hydroponic farming?
Well, it started about 5 years ago as a hobby. I was just doing it at home, just to consume for myself and share with my family, and then realized that the quality of the vegetables was actually quite good, and I decided to commercialize it from there.
Wow, and you just jumped into it? Means, did you get formally trained before you started this?
No, I had no training, but I hired a few consultants to learn from, and I read a textbook about hydroponics and then started from there. So a lot of the learning was on the job.
Right. So, can you tell us a little bit about your farm?
Sure. So the farm is in Bogor Barat, about an hour outside of Jakarta. And what we do is there's no soil involved in the process. So we have large tanks of water where we control what we put into the water and what we are feeding the plants.
Right.
And what we're doing is just mimicking what a plant would actually get in nature, but keeping it consistent 24 hours a day. And so the plants are set in a medium and in these long trays, and the water goes through it 24 hours and it grows in there, and it's in a greenhouse that's completely covered.
Right. Do you also use artificial lighting?
No, I don't. And I think that's not, Indonesia is not ready for that kind of costing yet.
I see. So, what are the kind of vegetables you grow?
So what I did is I started with what I thought the market here could accept very easily, because here people buy conventional vegetables, and for them to make the switch to hydroponics they have to pay double or triple the price. And so I decided to start with what they're familiar with, which is kangkung, pak choy, and chai sim. So that's the way I introduced my brand, got myself into a few supermarkets. And once my brand was a little bit more recognized, then I started doing herbs such as Thai basil and Italian basil. And now we're working on lettuce as well, which we've launched one type about 2 weeks ago and a few more types down the road. Each time we start a new vegetable, it takes quite a while to get it right before
Right.
it's ready for to sell.
So, what is the harvest cycle? How long does it go from planting?
So for the oriental types like kangkung and pak choy, anywhere between 17 and 25 days, whereas for lettuce it takes between 40 and 60 days.
Is it shorter? Is a hydroponic cycle shorter than a soil-based cycle?
Yes, for most vegetables it's maybe about 40% to 50% shorter the
Wow.
cycle.
Wow, that's like accelerating and
Yeah,
harvesting.
significantly shorter.
Right.
And generally with a higher yield as well per square meter.
So, what is the kind of output that you get out of your farm?
So right now we're producing about 5 to 6 tons a month of a variety of vegetables.
Wow. Is there any downside to a hydroponic farm?
Um, I guess the downside is only for, well, I wouldn't say it's a downside, more so a difficulty or a challenge is for the 2 3 months a year that it rains a lot. On one side we have plenty of water, which is
Right.
great for us, but then the lack of sunlight makes it quite difficult.
So it's slower growth.
Yeah, by about 30 to 40%. So your output will drop in the rainy months. But what is good, because you're hydroponic and covered, the conventional market sometimes goes to close to zero during the rainy months because their crops get destroyed, there's no cover, whereas we can consistently still produce through those months.
How do you supply your vegetables to the end user?
Initially, we did it ourselves. We delivered every morning to Food Hall, Grand Lucky, and to Diamond Supermarket. And then recently, we started we entered the direct B2C market via Sire Box, which is only 15 minutes away from my farm. And now I've partnered with Tani Hub to outsource my deliveries and logistics to all the modern retail shops.
So how do you feel at this moment about your business as such in hydroponic farming? Do you think you're going to stick with it, or are you going to grow it?
So far it's been very challenging, and only in the last few months has it turned into a profitable business where I do see the scope of growing it. So I will be opening the next phase of it in this year sometime. We're already planning on it.
Any insights or any lessons learned that you could share with us?
I think the lessons learned is applicable to any new business that you're starting, that when you enter, the business was not actually at all what you thought it was, and there'll be new challenges every single day. And if you can persevere through the first 2-3 years, then the business can grow to something large.
Would you recommend this as a business venture for other people looking for a business idea?
No. And the reason is that it's very challenging, and it's a unique set of challenges that very much have to do with plants and because they're alive. And if somebody isn't passionate and does not care enough for it, it won't work. So about maybe 6-7 years ago, there were 4 hydroponic players. Last year, there's about 55, of which in this rainy season, 20 have shut.
I see.
Because it becomes even more difficult when these challenges are there.
Wow. Thank you, Amrit. Thank you for sharing your story, and wishing you lots of luck with your hydroponic farming. May you grow and prosper.
Thank you.